killing some time before church like we do. And I don't remember what the conversation was about, but I'll never forget the way it ended. He had his Hebrew Bible with him. He opened it up to Psalm 82, and he, didn't shove it at me, but he showed it to me. He said, "You need to read Psalm 82 in Hebrew." And I did. It's not very difficult, Hebrew, but the first verse was just kind of shocking because it said, Elohim Nitzav Ba'adat El. God, capital G, and it's capital G because Nitzav is a singular verb form. So singular God, capital G-O-D, takes his stand in the divine council or the divine assembly. And then the next line in the first verse is B'kerev Elohim Yishpot. In the midst of the gods, he passes judgment. The second Elohim is plural. So you got Elohim twice in the same verse. One is singular, the other's plural because of the grammar. And I looked at that and I thought, well, that looks like a pantheon. But again, providentially, I also had the thought, well, I bet Jesus knew that verse. I bet Paul knew it. I bet the apostles knew it. That this was nothing. Why should I sort of fear what I'm looking at? It is the text of Scripture. It is what it is. And as I sort of got drawn into it, that became a focus of my dissertation and journal articles and whatnot. And there's a lot of it in Unseen Realm. I was struck, as Ben was saying, with the notion that it's hard to find evangelicals who will just sort of, at this point, let the text say what it says. We import the idea, well, the gods here are just men or they're idols. Well, I don't really see any evidence in Scripture that idols are in the employ of God or supernatural beings that are in rebellion. They're not showing up for work. If it's God as the boss, they're in rebellion. They're distanced. They're not in his employ anymore. And if you go over to Psalm 89, the human explanation just doesn't work. Psalm 82, verse 6, where the speaker who's God says, I said, all of you, you're Elohim, sons, plural, of the Most High. There's only one Most High, that's God. So sons of God are Elohim. You take that to Psalm 89, and the council, the assembly there is in the skies. And again, the last time I looked at my Bible, we don't have a bunch of Jewish guys in the skies, ruling the nations of the world. So, I was struck with, why do we do stuff like this? Why do we come up with these really odd sort of explanations? And the answer goes right back to what Ben was saying. We have a little trepidation over how populated the supernatural world really is. We're content to have God, triune God, and Jesus.
And angels at Christmas.
Angels at Christmas, demons. I mean, Satan has become a question mark in a lot of believing churches. And we draw the line there, but you get into a passage like this where we've got Elohim, and there's just all sorts of nuanced vocabulary, not only for the beings of the supernatural world, but sort of what they do, and their interrelationships and whatnot, that it really sort of forces a question. And that is, how much of what a biblical writer believed about the supernatural world am I willing to believe?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And that's an uncomfortable question.
It really is.